Hello everyone. In this video I will first go over the last few things for the ANCOVA, namely how to test for homogeneity of regression lines and how to do post-hoc analysis for the ANCOVA. And then I will go over how to do a repeated measures analysis, repeated measures ANOVA in SPSS. So first for the ANCOVA we have the old model with drink, which you use in the exercise. For the testing the homogeneity of regression lines, you have to add an interaction effect. And I've seen a lot of people do it this way by moving this to vectors. And now you do have an interaction effect. However, if you look here, you can see that drunk in this case is interpreted as a factor. So instead of being the continuous variable it is, SPSS now interprets it as 7 groups, 4 of which have only one person in them. So this gives incorrect results. So always keep the continuous variables in the covariate section and the fixed vectors in the vectors in the fixed vectors section. So how do you do add an interaction effect? You go to model, build terms, click on drink, click on drunk, and now you have drink and drunk, and then you can drink, press shift on your keyboard, drunk, and now you have drink and drunk. So now we have an ANCOVA with drunk as a covariate and with interaction. So if you click on OK now, we will have one between subject vector drink, which is indeed a vector, and drunk is still in there, but it's now interpreted as a continuous variable. And if you want to know how much this matters, just look at drunk. As you can see here, it's not significant in the analysis. So there's no significant effect of drunk. While here, there is a significant effect of drunk. It's 0.035. So it can really change your results if you do it incorrectly. So to repeat, continuous variables always in the covariate section add an interaction with model. Never move them to vectors, they will be interpreted as a vector. Going back to full factorial, so without interaction term, how to do a post-hoc test. As you can see, due to the addition of the covariate, so now we can click post-hoc. If we add the covariate, we can no longer. This option has become unavailable, and instead we can go to EM means and click drink and then display means for, compare main effects, and then go to Bonferroni. So just EM means, select the vector, compare main effects, Bonferroni. Continue, OK, and now we have the pairwise comparisons. That's it for the ANCOVA. Now moving on to the repeated measures ANOVA. I'll just switch datasets by clicking on the other dataset. To do a repeated measures ANOVA in SPSS, we go to Analyze, General Linear Model, Repeated Measures. First though, I will show you what the data looks like. So these are, I won't need to do the descriptives. We have subject, which is the number of the student, gender of the student, and 4 tutors. and I'm not 100% sure as I don't have fields, but it's probably like scores obtained under each tutor. And each subject had all 4 of the tutors. So that's what our dataset looks like. So going to Analyze, General Linear Model, Repeated Measures. Here we can do Repeated Measures ANOVA, and it's still very similar to the General Linear Model, but this is new, so it looks a bit weird when you enter. You will have to define a vector. So what is here our within subject vector? What is measured over and over again within subject? Well, here we have 4 different tutors, so I will call this variable tutors. And how many levels? Well, we have 4 tutors, so the number of levels will be 4. And we add this, and you can ignore this. So we just type in the name for the within subject vector, and we type in the number of levels. We click on define, and now we come back to the familiar screen. So to add the with subject variables, you can just click on the variable and now we have one between subject variable, so students either male or female, not both. So gender is a between subject vector. And finally we have subject, which is the number of the students, so each student has its own number. Don't be tricked into using this. It's a number, it's all unique. You will mess up your results if you add it. So this is Repeated Measures ANOVA. This too is in Repeated Measures ANOVA. There is no need for it between subject vector. This dataset happens to have one. So if we click on OK now, I have to go back to the output. We have Repeated Measures ANOVA. Of course, there's more options. Here it's already there, so you can just click define. It will be filled in still. Firstly, we still have model, but model won't be useful to us this time. Why? Because we have only one subject, a between subjects vector, and we are not looking at the within subject vectors. So you click full factorial and leave it at that. You don't have to do anything with it until you have more than one between subjects vector. Contrast we skip to. Plots, I did a better explanation of this in my video on the two-way ANOVA. So I will make a profile plot with tutors on the horizontal axis because I prefer the vector with more options on the horizontal axis, and gender in separate plots, or separate lines, I mean. Then add, and a y-axis starts at 0, continue. So better explanation of this is in the two-way ANOVA video if you need it. Post-hoc, we have a vector. We can once again test for post-hoc. And let's go with Bonferroni. Now the fun way is that we have 2 ways of testing post-hoc, because we actually also want to know what the differences are between tutors. And for that we can again go to EM means, and this will seem very similar. So here too we can just add tutors. We already have gender, compare main effects, Bonferroni, and now we also do a post-hoc test for tutors. Save again has the same things but less than the other the general linear model. So here you can do the predicted values and standardized residuals and diagnostics. And finally, options is something you will need to use this time. And there you have a load of options, but the ones you'll be using is descriptive statistics, estimates of effect size, homogeneity tests. This is no longer the Devine's test. Now it will be Monthly's test of sphericity. And if you want, you can also look at the parameter estimates for extra information. And then you click on OK, and now we have a whole load of tables. So I think, where does it start? Oh, we also have Levine's test and Monthly tests. So it begins all the way up here. So we have our within subject factors, between subject factors, descriptive statistics, or multivariate tests with the effect size, Monthly's test of sphericity, the test of the within subject effects, and of course now if you look at which of these 4 tests you use. So that's something that's slightly different. We have a load of text here, but that's because they're actually doing like 4 tests. And you'll have to see in the videos, they will explain probably which test when to use. So within subject contrasts, Devine's tests, per tutor, between subject effects, parameter estimates, estimated marginal means, pairwise comparisons, all the way down to the profile plot. This is it for repeated measures ANOVA. Interpretation will be covered in the videos of the lectures. Good luck with the exercise.